What do you have zero sympathy for? People who litter. One that really boils my pee is whenever it's a nice sunny day, we don't go to our local beaches. Heck, none of the locals do in the holidays, because they're packed with little busloads of tourists coming in from the cities, bringing their entire extended families to cause chaos and havoc everywhere, and the litter they leave is insane. It's worse than some of the festivals I've been to. The other unforgivable one is littering up in the fells and mountains. That crap is going nowhere. You manage to walk the full container up to the top. You can dang sure walk it back empty. Freaking Deegans. People who make fun of other people starting new things. Makes people leave hobbies that could have been their favorite thing to in their spare time. Made me lose interest in speed cubing, because that community can be pretty toxic to new people. People that go to foreign countries with strict and unreasonable consequences for minor infractions that expect their home country to bail them out when they try to steal something, commit a crime, in the eyes of the country they're in. I feel bad for their families for having such a stupid relative. A friend of a friend does this. She has a foolproof method of bringing drugs into Bali, Thailand, etc. Our circle have made it clear, while we don't have issues with drugs, we won't feel bad for her if she gets caught. People who get towed when they leave their car running in the fire lane in front of supermarkets. People who take their anger out on people who can't defend themselves. Doesn't matter if it's customer service people, their spouse, their kids, some homeless person, an animal. Just get your crap together and deal with your own problems instead of becoming someone else's. People who act like the victim with everything. After dating one for a while, it finally hits you how cancerous it is. It weighed on my mental health and I almost went to a psyche ward. Her ghosting me was the best thing to ever happen to me last year. My ex didn't necessarily play victim, but she always had this chip on her shoulder. There was this big victimization thing going on at her dorm, and after hearing multiple sides I still don't know what to believe. It does weigh you down, man. People who won't stop having kids even though all you hear from them is griping about how they have no money or a life of their own, or they're tired all the time, or they say stuff like, but this is so hard. Don't act surprised that kind of crap happens once you start having kids. It's some of the most common frigging knowledge in the world. And don't start palming off your younger kids on your older ones all the time. Either you wanted a baseball team, you gotta coach them all. This is not about parents whose older children want to help or have some responsibilities like helping their siblings with tying shoes and wattle. This is about parents whose older kids don't get to be kids because they are too busy raising their siblings. Nothing freaking pisses me off more. Your older kids aren't your dang co-parents. Let them have the same quality childhood as their other siblings and raise them all your dang self. People who throw their trash away next to the trash bin. People who sit in their cars at McDonald's eating their food then drop the rubbish and packaging out their window. You have to drive past a bin to leave the car park, you stupid C. People who treat everybody like garbage then complain about being lonely. Like, I'm not getting paid to be here. If you act like a dong, I'm leaving. Had a friend exactly like this. After years of abuse, our entire social group left him. People who yell or snap at bartenders and then have to wait longer to get their drink. I have zero sympathy for a parent that never says no to their child. Agree, but I have endless sympathy for the poor teachers that have to teach them. Needing to listen to music badly enough that you play your phone speaker on public transportation. Not flushing your crap. Manipulators. As soon as I see you trying to bend someone's emotions towards your gain, we don't need to associate anymore. Amen. I had a friend who was like this and now I got away from him. I feel better about that aspect of my life. People who are absolute C to minimum wage workers, retail, servers, fast food, etc. Then cry when they don't get their way, or better yet, get kicked out. That worker doesn't control the price or the inventory, or even the store policy. If you have a problem, ask for a manager like an adult instead of throwing a temper tantrum. As a minimum wage employee, the amount of times my black co-worker has been called racial slurs for just doing his job makes me so freaking sick. People who lose their crap over things that don't matter, for example when McDonald's runs out of sauce. People who pee off the Queen's guards and get hurt. I'm sorry, but how freaking stupid do you have to be to frick with a soldier who is literally armed with a bayonet and has quick access to ammunition? Usually the guns aren't loaded, but on high alert periods of time, they are. Also, you know they aren't supposed to react, so stop pee them off, you wankers. Also, pedophiles. Zero sympathy for those Those idiots who try to frick with the guards always go into victim mode when the inevitable happens. When I see someone driving like a total knobhead, cutting everyone off, causing near crashes all down the road, and then I pass them later on pulled over by a cop. People who treat waitresses poorly. I entirely lack sympathy for people that abuse animals and kids or the elderly. In fact, those people actually inspire homicidal tendencies whenever I hear about their bulls. People who do not use their blinker while driving. Why? You're too lazy to move your hand for a second? You expect everyone else on the road to read your mind? Frick you, man. Just frick you. Amen. One of my biggest pet peeves on the road, as an addition, the people who turn and then start using their blinkers while already turning, kinda defeats the purpose. People who abuse their kids' pets and then cry when they get taken away from them by CPS animal control. People who die while doing dumb and preventable crap, taking selfies in dangerous places, taunting wild animals then getting attacked, park or other stunts if they know full well it's beyond their skill, etc. People getting destroyed by animals after fricking with them. Betrayal. If you backstab me, all my faith and trust is gone, and good luck getting it back. Child predators. I knew one. He sexually abused my cousin from the age of 4 until she had the courage to tell her parents at age 12. He's serving 3 years in jail because she didn't testify against him, too uncomfortable and didn't feel safe. I will never have sympathy. If he isn't dead, I would kill him. Her dad might. That sucker deserves to suffer, and if I see him, I'll make him suffer. 3 years in prison is not enough for 8 years of child abuse. Disgusting. Child abusers, rapists. Actually subhuman. Rapists. That's what I was gonna say. Frick them pieces of human filth. Drunk drivers. My cousin just got out of jail today after being convicted of her 3rd DUI, 2 of which were with children in the vehicle. She was in for like 6 months, and I absolutely could not believe how much sympathy my family had for her. People who hurt children or animals voluntarily then get karma in their face. Texting and driving. Get the frick off your phone, dumb shit. You're going to hurt people. That guy who got killed by that indigenous tribe on that island that the government told him not to go on, because if he went there he would get killed by that indigenous tribe. A couple of cases with fishermen washing ashore by accident, getting killed. Another time some poor fella got on his emergency boat after his ship sank. The emergency boat washed ashore and he got wrecked. Those we can all feel bad for. People who text and drive. I read it and drive and there have been no problem. People who think that having a bad day is a contest. I, too, hate one-uppers. Narcissists and abusers in general. People who hold strong opinions, generally incorrect ones, without any evidence or reasoning, and refuse to listen to logic, or at least hear other people's points of view. Anti-vaxxers would like to know your location. People who treat the homeless like they aren't humans. 1. Begpackers. Tourists from Western countries who come to Southeast Asia for vacation, then when they're out of money they start begging from us local people. I'm disappointed that the local authorities did nothing to stop those people. If Asians do the same thing they'll get sent back to where they're from. Frick those begpackers. To everyone reading this, you cannot afford a fricking vacation, just don't do it. 2. Homewreckers. For obvious reasons. The cheating spouse is worse than the homewrecker. Imo. Bullies. People who end up destroying their relationship with their kids after they emotionally abuse them for control. People complaining after someone left them after they were toxic. I think some of them lack the self-awareness to realize their toxicity. People who use suicide against people wanting a breakup. Pharmacy patients who refuse to understand that pharmacy is neither a fast food restaurant or their babysitter. We're making sure your meds don't kill you, so be patient. If you are out of refills, order them a few days before you run out. Expecting us to drop the 1,000 things we're already doing because they were irresponsible is the epitome of entitled. No sympathy for those people. Mad respect for those who understand. People who view others as prey. You're all fair game because you're dumb and trust other people. People who mock the disabled. Flies and mosquitoes. Parents that don't raise kids properly and let them grow up to be little c, as well as other things mentioned on this thread. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.